Hello friends, my name's TheRealEmile and welcome back to Forza Horizon 2. In today's video we are carrying on the Hypercar Championship we started yesterday with the fantastic Koenigsegg Agera, and today we are using the, I would say, pretty fantastic Porsche 918 Spider. Now I have done some modifications to this. It's got bigger tyre whips and slightly less weight because this thing is a heavy beast, but don't worry because yeah, it's alright. I haven't done any power modifications. Now, this car, when I first saw it, I didn't think much of it. I don't know if it's much of a secret. I think I might have spoke about this once or twice, but I'm not a huge Porsche fan. You know, I can appreciate how the 911 is actually a relatively decent to drive car despite its strange rear engineness. And also, the Cayman, I like the Cayman. I think it's a very well balanced, and I believe it's actually one of the best driving sports cars you can buy. But I still don't love Porsche. And of course, when the 918 came along, and it came out at the same time, the LaFerrari and the McLaren P1 were coming out, and I really didn't think much of this car. In my opinion, it was the dullest looking of all of them, and the facts and figures wise, this has 887 horsepower, but I don't know, I still wasn't particularly interested in it. But then it came to Forza Horizon 2, and the first thing I noticed is this fantastic interior. For those of you who know me and who probably saw the Koenigsegg video yesterday, will know I like nice bright colours, hence why my Koenigsegg comes in bright blue. So this interior, I think, is one of the most superb interiors in Forza. It's really well laid out, it's got this beautiful lime green hint to it, and that's absolutely splendid. And then I drove it, and it turns out this thing drives beautifully. I've driven the P1 and the LaFerrari quite a bit in Forza 5. I haven't driven so much in Horizon 2. And while they're both fantastic driving cars, they do have, little kinks. The LaFerrari is a little bit slidey and so on. The P1 is a bit worse to drive than the LaFerrari, and that wing, it goes up, and when it goes up it kind of makes cornering a little bit harder. But because it's four-wheel drive, this 918 is superb to drive. It really is. There's not that much understeer, there's no oversteer from it because it's four-wheel drive. It's just a fantastic handling car, and I really do quite like it. And yeah, so the problem I do have with the 918 though is I like it. I don't love it. And for me, again, it still looks boring. Well, not too boring. I mean, it's got exhaust pipes coming out of the top of the engine, and they spit flames. That's cool. That's really cool. But I don't know. I still don't love it. It's just too technological. It's got its hybrid motor and all that, and I believe there's some other bits and bobs from it. Don't get me wrong. Out of the P1, the LaFerrari, and this, to own on a day-to-day basis, I would probably have the 918. Thanks to the fact that I believe the P1 might be a bit too... It's quite carbon fibre, the P1, isn't it? It's, oh god, it's not very good for day-to-day driving, really. The 918 is the most normal of the hypercars, I guess. And the LaFerrari, well, yeah, it's a nice car and all. I don't know. The LaFerrari is a lot of money. I believe it's about £1 million. And for £1 million, I mean, the 918 is the cheapest as well. So, on that basis, yeah, I think that's quite a decent jackpot, actually. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still not a huge fan of the 918, but I do, for a day-to-day purpose, I would probably buy this over the other hypercars. Now, it's still, to me though, this is still a 230 mile an hour laptop. The problem Porsches have always had is they don't really have a personality to them. You know, the 911, it's an extraordinary car, don't get me wrong, and it looks pretty good and it drives well and so on. But I don't want one. You know, there's nothing pushing me towards it. You know, I'd rather have a Ferrari 430 Scuderia or an MP412C over a 911. Actually, that's supercar. See, I don't really class the 911 as a supercar. I think of it more as a sports car. So a Corvette. Let's go with the Corvette. The new Corvette, the Z06, I believe, is the new one to Horizon 2. I would rather have that over a Porsche, just because I think it personally looks better and drives better. Actually, no, it doesn't drive better. Sorry, it just, I don't know. It's got more of a personality to it. There was some horrible understeer there after I praised this car. Yeah, I'm sorry, 918. Anyway, you know, Porsches don't have any personality, and you know, as much as I know they're actually quite different nowadays and so on, I still associate these things with Beetles. I don't know, it's just something I do. Now, don't get me wrong, if someone was to say, oh, here's the keys to a 911, you know, go drive it. Yeah, totally. I would go and drive any Porsche, really, other than maybe a Boxster, because the Boxster is a bit hairdressery. But that's besides the point. I don't know, the 918, it's a good car and all, but I just don't love it. I don't love any Porsches. I mean, the Cayman, I would probably, out of all the Porsche range, I'd probably own a Cayman. You know, I do quite like the Cayman, but still, it's just, it doesn't really have a personality. As far as Porsches, you know, from as of old, I don't know. I like is it the 993? I really like the 993. And the 73 Carrera RS is also a pretty nice car as well. But nah, I don't think I'd actually have a Ferrari over a Porsche, sorry, over say a Ferrari or a McLaren, or, you know, I'm just trying to think what else is a sports car. A BMW Z4 I'd rather have over a Porsche Boxster. So yeah, I guess that's my 2 cents on Porsche. They're good cars, but they're just not for me, really. As far as the 918 goes, this thing really is a 230 mile an hour laptop. Actually, I don't think it is, because this can't do 200. It's quite funny, because everyone's like, oh, these new hypercars are the best ever built, and, you know, oh, they're so, you know, fantastic, and beat everything, and blow it out the water, and so on. These cars only have a top speed of around, like, just over 200. The Agera we had yesterday will do 270 odd stock, you know. And the Agera is also more powerful, in my opinion, better looking, and, you know, I wouldn't say it's nicer to drive, because it would probably try to kill you, but that's the joy of hypercars. You know, this 918 handles superbly, and I do like it for that, but it's not a proper hypercar. A hypercar should try to kill you. A hypercar is supposed to send you through the pearly gates backwards, on fire, at 250 miles an hour. And the 918 just wouldn't do that. The 918 won't kill you. A Porsche, an old 911, would kill you, but 918 won't. To be fair, a P1 probably would try, and just knock over that post, because why not? Yeah, we won the championship anyway. If we stayed in the Agera, we probably wouldn't, but we would have had 10 times the fun. And that's what really counts when it comes to driving a super expensive car. Alrighty. So, again, you know, I like the 918. You know, if you like the 918, please don't be offended by what I said. You know, it's just not the car for me, to be honest with you. And I don't think it ever will be. And hopefully, you know, hypercar makers stay mental. You know, that's my plea to you, you know. If you're making a McLaren, or if you're from McLaren or Ferrari or Koenigsegg, yeah, Koenigsegg, you know, keep making cars mental. That's what I want to see. But anyway, friends, that's it for me today. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, farewell.